It depends on the production. Some cases I have an idea and I expand on the idea and I create characters to best explain that idea. In other cases, it's the characters and I come up with a story to best deal with how to best showcase the characters. With Cerulean Blue, it was the characters. I wanted to do an avant-garde blues band and put them in an Indigenous environment where a lot of people, like say on my reserve or other reserves, were mostly country or AC/DC. And so I wanted to get them in that environment. I didn't know how, so I go through the usual process. I have the characters. I have where I want them to end up. How do I go from A to B? And then I started adding stuff. I started adding characters. Hopefully, the characters add to the storyline. And eventually, I came up with enough A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D, leads to E to get them from the downtown urban environment to a reserve in the midst of a political issue. It's not that old a play. I think it's like 6 or 7 years old, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, there's not really any Me Too elements in the play that I have to be conscious of, or really anything else. I think it stands as it is. I mean, it's not deep, and it's not a particularly deep drama that needs to be updated. I think it's just a fun journey that deals on a peripheral level with contemporary Native issues, deals with family issues, deals with friendship, all these different things. I think it stands on its own right now. I don't think I need to update it. A lot of my humor comes from my community here as an Indigenous person growing up in an Indigenous environment. But with that being said, I'm sort of a pop culture sponge. And yeah, I soak up so many different things. Like, you know, my tastes in humor range from Married with Children to Frasier. So it's all across the board. It's quite eclectic. I appreciate a good turn of phrase, an interesting perspective on things. So you know, and the ironic twist. Oh, Henry's writing, things like that. So Kurt Vonnegut Jr. as a writer, his sort of sense of irony and satire. So I have quite a broad perspective of influences in my career as a writer.